Okay, so I'm Diana, and I'm here with Mind Your Mind, talking with George Chuvalo. George, you were the undisputed Canadian heavyweight boxing champion for 21 years, 1958 to 1979.
That's correct.
You've never been knocked down.
That's correct.
But in return, you've knocked out 64 other fighters.
Yeah, actually a little more than that, but I got jobbed out. I got jobbed out of a few knockouts where I had the guys down, and they ruled it a foul because they said one guy said I crossed buttocked him, which was such a load of baloney. I had him hooked to the body. He crumbled over the ropes on his lower back over the top rope, and I pummeled him, and he slithered down the ropes, knocked out, and.
Which opponent was?
They said I crossed buttocked him, so I lost the round on a foul.
Okay.
And then I knocked him out again in the 6th round, and the actual referee picked him up and gave him a standing 8 count. I was lucky to win the fight. But fortunately, the 2 judges voted for me. The referee was in the other guy's corner, his hip pocket, I guess, you know.
Who was that?
That was Mike DeJohn, and as a matter of fact, the guy who said he would fight the winner of the fight was none other than Cassius Clay, as he was known at the time. But after the fight, Cassius, as you know, a.k.a. Muhammad Ali later on, said, "I'm not fighting Chuvalo. He fights rough and tough like a washerwoman." And I didn't know what he meant by the washerwoman quote until I saw the fight 25 years later, and then I saw myself hitting Mike DeJohn with a hook to the body, then a hook to the head, and he draped over the top rope, and then I pummeled him much like a woman doing the scrub board. Doing it rather frantically, I might add.
That's exciting. Now, Muhammad Ali has been quoted as saying that you're the toughest opponent he's ever fought.
Yeah, that's nice.
Who would you say is the toughest opponent that you've ever fought?
Well, in some ways, Muhammad was primarily because of the duration of the fight, but also the fact that it was fought at a very fast pace, as 15 rounds. They don't do that anymore. They fight the sissy rounds, only 12. And I say sissy rounds because I say to myself, I come from a pretty tough era, from the golden era of heavyweights. He said that era, that stretch of heavyweights when I was around, was the toughest set of heavyweights ever in the history of boxing. So I'm kind of proud to be part of that era, part of that history of that particular time. So
absolutely.
But we used to fight 15 rounds. Now they fight 12. And the reason being, of course, is not a bad idea to reduce the rounds, because a lot of guys are getting hurt in a fight and they're getting knocked out in the fight. In the early part of the fight, you're more apt to slip a punch or more apt to react quickly or quicker on when a guy throws something at you. But when the fatigue sets in, you're more apt to get hit flush with a punch. And as a consequence, you'll never hear of a guy getting knocked out in a fight early, like 1st or 2nd round, and dying. It doesn't happen. It's only when fatigue is a factor, it seems like, when guys get knocked out in the late rounds, like the 12th round, 13th, 14th, 15th round. And usually when they get knocked out in those rounds and fatigue is a factor, then guys can die. So that's why they reduced it from 15 to 12 to make it a little safer.